we're going to be talking about preparing to step out of your comfort zone in 2024. Prepare to step out of your comfort zone in 2024. Like, listen, this is a very important conversation for us to have, because this thing called comfort zone does not help anybody. This thing called comfort zone is the place you go to die, honestly. Because when you are in your comfort zone, there's no progress, there's no development, there's no advancement. It's like, why are we even in the comfort zone? Why do we even tolerate the comfort zone? Well, here to help us to prepare to get out of our comfort zone in 2024 is Hannah Abraham-Sapir. She's a pastor, author, and teens and youth educator. Hannah, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Yeah, so let's get right into this conversation right now. How do we prepare to get out of our comfort zone? First of all, what's so bad about the comfort zone that we need to prepare to get out of it?
Okay. So when we talk of a comfort zone, it's a state or a place where we are at ease, we are very comfortable, and because of that, we don't look for opportunities, we just feel security, we still feel fulfillment, and we are happy. Let me give you a story. I worked in Brazzaville, in a French country, as a teacher. And as a teacher, you realize that children have different capacities, potentials, and abilities.
Yeah.
So there was this boy who is so smart, he's so good. But there was a trend I noticed among the students. After exams, the child gets 55, 60% and is excited. And I'm like, why are you so happy about 65 and 50? And measure-you le moyen? I'm speaking French. But I have the average. And so their whole life was, once you get the average,
Once you
it's
get
enough.
the average, you're good.
There was no drive to succeed, to do better. So comfort zone is all about feeling secure. And the reason why people stay in the comfort zone is security, fear of the unknown. They will rather stay in the places where I have a good salary, I have a secure job, I have my national security, I have, my SS certificate, I am fine. Now, it is a dangerous state because, one, you never maximize your capacities, your abilities, your opportunities are shut down. It's important to know that there are 3 levels of achievement. We have the underachievers in life, the achievers, and the overachievers. What we are calling overachievers are actually the people who are able to do more than they would ordinarily have done. They set high targets, high goals for themselves, and they achieve it. And everybody needs to be in that overachiever state. So check yourself. That's what I tell people. First and foremost, we need what we call self-awareness. Who am I? What are my abilities? What are my capabilities? What can I do that I'm not doing? Am I happy with where I find myself, my income source, my course, my educational skills, my soft skills, my emotional intelligence?
Okay.
With that assessment, you now realize that, oh, I can do better in this area or this area. Then challenge yourself. Set goals that are achievable and realistic, not too big, but small goals, and then start working on them. People refuse to do this because of, one, difficulty. The difficulty of change, the uncertainty. What if this goal, I can't achieve it? What if I don't have the money to do this business? Now, I was just thinking through and I said, for example, we're on Citi TV. If next year your boss says that I'm starting a French channel, you know we have a large French population in Ghana.
Yeah.
We are starting a French segment. How many people will still retain their jobs and how many will lose their jobs? Suddenly, you will find out that everybody will now start wanting to learn French. What have prevented you from learning over the years? Your comfort zone. Ghana is an English-speaking country. We don't need French. So, 2 things challenge us. Usually, they call it pain or crisis. So, you don't learn French, you are going to be sacked. That crisis will suddenly
will start learning French.
push people to want to learn.
Yeah.
And then there's also pleasure. Next year, I want to go to Hawaii in June. How much do I need for the ticket? You realize that many people are comfortable with a 120,000 annual salary a year. I don't know how many get 120,000 in Ghana, but assuming you are getting 120,000, and you want to go to Hawaii, 120,000 Ghana cedi changing to dollars will give you less than $10,000. Would be enough for the holiday. So pleasure becomes another reason
Motivator.
why you would want to shift out of your comfort zone. So ask yourself, are you self-aware? Have you set a goal? Have you set a target? And it should not always be selfish. People actually remain in comfort zone because they are selfish. It's all about me. My salary is enough. My education is enough. But life is not about you. God created you for a purpose with potentials, abilities, and capacities to be a blessing to people. Look at what Citi is doing. When there was the flood, Akosombo Dam issue, you are building centers, you are helping people. If it was only about Citi, you wouldn't need to do that project. So what has God put in you to be a blessing to the world, that you are being selfish and you are refusing to grow? So when you remain in your comfort zone, people suffer, people die, because you didn't build yourself, you didn't grow.
But you know that we also live in a community where right from childhood, you are trained with modesty.
Yeah.
So you are told that, you know, you don't need so much. I mean, if you are here, you are fine. I mean, Ghanaians are people who, even when you tell them, oh, wow, you are a rich person, the first thing is, oh, no. You know, even with our words. So, yes, I want to move out of my comfort zone. But the training I have received, you know, from home, from around, is that of modesty. I.e., don't do so much, you know, it's not the best. Even if you are doing something, don't tell people about it, don't do this. And this is how we have developed ourselves, this is how we have grown. And so when you get your one house, you can get a decent place to live, you have a car, you feel you have achieved what you need in life. Now, how do we reset our minds that this is not enough?
Friba, you have just answered the question. You just need to reset your minds. It
But
means
it
we
is
have
the
been
process,
we have been wrongly scripted.
Yeah.
So we are mixing humility, we are mixing modesty with personal development, growth, and impact. So you need to find a new environment where you are taught right. Means challenge yourself and stay among people who are also modest and humble, but they are maximizing their abilities and capacities. Because one, better life, fulfillment, impact. If you always think in terms of impact, imagine, Prima, God wants you to dig 100 boreholes for the people in the north. Does your salary per month give you that right to be able to do that? No. Good. It means you need to reinvent. You need to do something. So change your environment, the people you listen to. And that's where at this point we'll talk about mentors and coaches. We've done that discussion here before. Get a mentor who will challenge you. Get a coach who will train you and who will push you to bring out their abilities and have good intentions. I mean, people actually sometimes want money just to boast. I own this, I did this, I achieved this. But life is not just about you. The day you die, it's finished. But today we are still talking about Kwame Nkrumah, because it was not only about him, it was about the legacy he left and the impact. When you think impact, you actually will not be selfish. You always want to leave your comfort zone because you realize that many more people could have been helped if I maximize my capacity.
So as parents, you know, I mean, children are home, they are coming now. What should our line of conversation be, you know, towards empowering them to be achievers?
Wonderful. What we should do for our children is we ourselves, one, study those young children God has given to you. Know their potentials, capacities, and encourage them in that line so your child can read. I remember there was a neighbor whose child loves reading. Buy books for them. Take them to the library. Make them write stories. Make them write summaries. That was what Kwamla Dumont, late Kwamla Dumont's father used to do to him. And that's how come he loved reading. That's how come he loved presenting. It is how he was parented. So as parents, we should encourage our children. If it's sport, take your child to the places where they will do that. I remember my parents sent me to learn how to play the organ. I was lazy and then I escaped. Today I regret so much. They made the effort. But I feel today they should have insisted because per my personality, I needed a tougher discipline to go through. There are some children who are self-disciplined and they don't need anybody. They'll do well. So if you assume, oh, that child should do it on his own, I don't need to force them, you have actually worried the child. Now, if your parents didn't help you, help yourself. Get a leader or a tough liner who will put you in order and bring out things you never knew existed.
Yeah, I think that sometimes we are sabotaged from early age, you know, but but then there's a point at which you can no longer blame your upbringing. You must take responsibility and take charge of what lies in the future. So 2024 is around the corner.
Yeah.
Let's just run through what we're looking at in terms of preparing ourselves to step out of the comfort zone. So you said we should check ourselves.
Yeah, with self-awareness.
Challenge ourselves.
Challenge yourself.
Okay. Is there anything else you want
Yes.
to wrap
Predict what is coming ahead. So there's a new year, new challenges. COVID taught us a lot of lessons.
Yeah.
Assuming in the next 6 months, technology has changed, will you still be relevant in your job space? So predict ahead and prepare for it. When you predict and prepare, you are never taken off guard.
Okay.
And so that prediction helps you step out of your comfort zone in advance. That is one of the things I want to add. Then also, just like I said earlier, impact should always be one of the major reasons, and growth, personal growth. Let me be the best God wanted me to be. And that will keep you moving, keep you learning.
Yeah.
In Ghana, typically, how many average Ghanaians have 2 or 3 international languages? If today you get an international job, how many of you can actually get that job? Because of language. We just lose it. You know, I've shared on this platform my Brazzaville experience. I went to a French country and all my geology and environmental science was useless because I couldn't speak the language. But well, today I speak French, but what next? What if I move to Angola or a Spanish country? Would I be able to make sense? Would I always remain in an English environment? So predict the future. 2024 is coming with its challenges. How ready am I to embrace it? Which area? Financial, spiritual, which is important, emotional intelligence, social skills. Identify the areas of growth and start with one and be intentional. Even reading, I challenge people to read. When I meet them, I said, have you read the book I asked you to read? And most of them said no. And I'm like, you don't like yourself. Because recently I learned that in a year, the minimum you should have read should be 12 books and listen to 52 tapes. Minimum, a year. In terms of growth. This is for personal knowledge and growth. And so when you meet international smart people, the first question you always ask is, what book are you reading? And what are you taking from it? And why are you reading that book?
You know, my dad is always asking that question.
So your dad is still challenging you to grow at your age. And you are not challenging yourself in that area. Maybe you are in other areas. But in that reading area, you've still not seen the need. But if you had an exam on a particular book in 2 days. You see the pain and crisis factor.
But you know, in all this, you know, when we are talking about it, that is where people are writing, okay, my New Year resolutions, next year I'm going to do better, I'm going to read the 12 books. How do you deal with failures in all this? Because the moment you start, it's not going to be a smooth ride. There will be the real challenges. And I think this is what turns people off. You know, you started, how do you manage the failure and make it part of the journey?
Okay, so first and foremost, set realistic goals. There are too many people who fail because of unrealistic goals. And number 2, failures and crises and challenges will happen. You can get sick, there's a problem that takes you off. Learn from your failures, overcome your setbacks, use those experiences of failures to set new goals. So the goals should be usually small, and then you celebrate. So I won't say start with a book, I'll say start with a chapter or start with a page and celebrate yourself. Like this year, if you look in my bag, I actually work with it. I've done my assessment of my 2023 and my achievements. And I'm feeling very happy. I actually went to buy myself a gift.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
I kept smiling. I was like, oh, I did this. And because of that, I have set goals for 2024. Will I be able to achieve all of them? I may not be able to. But learn from your failures and experiences and work around your failures. They could have been from your personality, your indiscipline, lack of accountability, lack of mentoring, lack of coaching, and find out why you failed and then work to make sure that this time you should at least, ideally, a good goal should be achieved at least 80%. It should be a high one.
Well, awesome. We promise on our honor that we'll do better. We'll leave our comfort zone. And 2024, you'll be proud of us when we have to do this conversation again.
We will. I am so sure about that.
All right. So thank you very much, Hannah Abrahams up here. Pastor, author, teens and youth educator. I'm sure you've been challenged. Look, let's all do better. Because I believe that we all have the capacity, you know, to do better. Don't look at other people, okay? Because people always try to justify why they are where they are. Laziness and sometimes, you know, just think of how you will leave your comfort zone and really focus on your life, yourself. Leave other people to also do same. The people who have decided to take pen and paper and marking other people, fix your own life yourself before you think of other people. Thank you very much, Hannah.